Cheeseburger. It's hot.
I am. I'm not gonna lie. I'm moist.
Yeah.
I am. In places.
Oh no.
Me and Tim have opted for the coolest of the tops.
Yeah, you're the only one not wearing a football top, Dan.
What?
Did you not get the memo?
Because it's. I mean, I could, but I cannot be asked.
It's nice in this weather, to be fair.
Yeah.
Isn't that the same? That's the same shirt you've been wearing on the show for about the past 3 weeks, Tim. Do you own any other shirts?
It used to be white. Now it's kind of creamy yellow.
It was the top of my
just
my
around there,
but it's also celebrating European victory. So hey. Coleman, you don't want to be wearing two shirts
why
today.
Why are you putting more clothes on, Coleman? It's not how hot weather works.
I have a newer Tottenham top, so I was proving I'm a bigger fan than Tim, despite not going.
Tim's so tight he hasn't brought a top since 1896.
This says it's from 1984, but it's actually a replica from the 1984 victory rather than an actual shirt that is that old. But still.
That's the last.
I actually do have an original Italia 90 England second kit somewhere.
Nice.
Not as in anyone other than me wore it.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, they've updated the lower thirds.
They have.
I wish it were Friday. Can't change that somewhere.
Yeah. But then we wouldn't be broadcasting.
I agree, right? I also wish it wasn't 40 million degrees.
Oh, I like that one.
Oh, that's
quite nice.
Sorry, just updating things on the fly.
Thanks, Rygo.
Yeah, nice one, Rygo.
We didn't know. There was, if you didn't see the update on social media and on Discord, there was a massive crash of Google Cloud, which took down loads of websites. Google.
That's why we were in trouble. We had
that's why it went down. Someone put an extra L in there. Yeah. So that took down loads of things, including StreamYard, which we use to do this podcast, while we were recording, while we were streaming. So, we lost about 20 minutes of the show, which we kind of luckily could put back together, sort of.
I was going to say,
I think it looks all right.
Probably for the best, Coleman.
It all went out and it looked fantastic. It just meant I had to kind of
to make it that way.
I had to take all the raw files and kind of keyframe it to look like the original. But it looks because of that.
She just done like flappy mouth ventriloquist stuff.
Because of that, it actually is in a much higher quality than any of the other videos we've done.
Shit.
So that's fun.
No, but you should have just started. No one would know but Tim. Just go. I
mean, on the plus side, I now have a template in case it happens again. So I know how to fix it. Kind of.
Right.
Podcast.
Should we do a show? Because Coleman, you're on Harley Bob's tomorrow, so we need to get this.
My plane is waiting. It's waiting till tomorrow, but it's waiting, so we got to get on through. He's on down that road before we melt a death.
Let's.
Ready?
I'm not.
How about now?
Thursday.
Episode 4. We'll do it live. BRB UK. Do it live. Worse teeth, better accents. We'll do it live.
Hello, and indeed ahoy hoy. Welcome one and all, wherever you are, to BRB UK. It's episode 641. I am Dan. I'm one of your hosts. Lovely to be nestling in your ear holes. I'm joined, as always, by a man with far too much time on his hands. If you just listen to the live intro, that's Coleman.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Heart dying.
Yes.
Apparently
Yes.
too much time on my hands.
Yes, you do have too much on your hands.
We've had customized intros for like 3 or 4 weeks now.
I
think
know,
we're going
but
down all right.
I'm just saying out there, we often hear, we all know Coleman puts a lot of work in with this show. All I'm saying
More
is
than it
you
deserves.
might be able to recover a little bit of time in your week by not recreating the Daytona theme tune from exclusively sound clips of Alan Partridge and Tim going, meh.
It's not Alan Partridge, actually.
Oh,
Steve,
well,
what's his
okay.
face? Forget his name. The one from the Green Wing. You know the one.
Oh,
Introduce Tim.
Yeah, Tim, you're here. Say hello.
I'm here.
Yeah, we go. Right, anyway, Coleman, we were saying.
So in I Am Alan Partridge, it's actually the character of Dan. That. Oh no, that is the voice of Alan Partridge. I'll shut up.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Dan.
Suck it. Suck it. Yeah, because it's Alan Partridge saying hello to Dan, or trying to get Dan's attention.
And then saying,
Dan's a fantastic man.
And he's right. He's right. So,
Podcast.
guys, guess what?
What?
"What?"
Breaking news. I haven't had time to play any video games again.
Oh.
That's
So
fine.
I'm living vicariously. Well, I have, but we need to do a shortish show, and there's one I'll say for after when Coleman gets back. Tim, you'll love it. It's an indie game,
Wait. Oh.
but it's also a platformer, so you might not love it. So, yeah. But I'll talk about that when I come back. I'll talk about it when I come back, because there has been hot new releases squirting forth from the orifices of Game Pass this week. Yes, that's right, lancing across the internet like the contents of a pustule. It sounds right. I don't know why.
Even worse.
I don't know why I'm kind of framing it up like this, because from what I hear, it's a very good game. That game that you both had a chance to sink some time into is The Alters, which I'll be honest with you, I was very sceptical about when I first heard it, because it sounded like it was trying to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. But from what I've heard, this is quite a good game. So the setup is you are a bloke, you are a space bloke.
Space bloke.
Space bloke called
Bloody
Jan, who was
space bloke.
escaping his dysfunctional life to go on a very long trek across the stars. Problem is, it all went a little bit wrong. He was the only one who came to from stasis when they landed, and he's got no one there to help him. And oh god, he's got to survive. What's he gonna do? That's right, quantum computers and cloning alternate timeline versions of himself. Therein lies the story. So this game looks really, really awesome, I have to say. I thought it was going to be a little bit painful and a little bit too earnest for its own good, but it sounds like it actually handles the subject matter and kind of the kind of slightly weird psychology of cloning yourself and hanging around with yourself and kind of retreading questionable choices in your life that you may have made indirectly. It sounds quite intriguing. So take me through it, chaps, because often base building stuff sends me into a coma. So why should I care?
Yeah, so it's kind of made up of different parts. As you said, you've got the character of Jan Dolsky, who's Alex Jordan, who I found out, by the way, Mr. Hands in Cyberpunk 2077, but
really?
also the sex noises in Baldur's Gate 3, apparently.
Is that an actual voice credit for him? Sex noises.
That's his sex noise. He makes sex noises in Baldur's Gate 3. There you go.
I am IMDbing that right now.
There you go. But yeah, as Dan alluded to, this is kind of heavily, it involves the story of space and cloning, so much so that you are partaking in the mission called Project Dolly. Ooh. And
Like the sheep.
you end up being... you end up being marooned on a planet, all of your crew being dead, and you have to kind of take the place of captain. And because it's future pseudoscience, you are able to clone yourself, taking versions of yourself from different timelines, if alternative timelines, if a branching path had taken a different turn. So instead of being a builder, as your current job is, maybe you went into advanced education and became a scientist. Maybe you became a botanist. Maybe you became an engineer. All different traits that will become useful, funnily enough, in piloting and getting yourself home and the running of your base. So you end up on this planet where your kind of planet base has been set up, which is a big wheel with a Fallout
Scream if you wanna
shelter
go faster.
kind of vibe inside, where everything's modular, all the different rooms are modular. So your mission is to venture out onto the planet's surface, mine for different kinds of metals and minerals and things that you might need that you can build structures with, upgrade your base, but also more importantly, collect enough fuel and food and whatever you're going to need to travel further into the towards the planet before you can. Well, the idea is to get away from the sun radiating you and your crew of Yans. Mm-hmm. So
it's like the evil Teletubbies son, as far as I've been told. You're like, oh yeah, the sun's coming. Oh god, it's burning my face off.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah,
and it's an interesting game. I mean, it's very addictive. Any kind of base building, any kind of simulation type game like this. Although I don't go looking for them, if I get into them, I kind of get stuck into them, and this is one of those ones that I've been getting stuck into. So much so that I wish this performed better on a Steam Deck, because I would totally double dip and pick this up for my holiday. Because I'm really into
before
this
Tim jumps in, as we know he's going to, I have a question.
Yeah.
Now, are the alters the alternate versions of you, where essentially it's like one life choice was made differently and they've had a kind of that you're pulling them from a separate timeline?
Yeah, you grew a beard rather than a mustache in a lot of cases, basically.
You had hair, you didn't have hair. Yeah, you were a hipster.
So basically, you're John Brady or Coleman is basically what that description
basically,
So, are your alters preset, or is there kind of like RNG and random generation here, or would on each playthrough would you get the same set of alters each time?
You can pick, so it's the same ones each time, but you can pick in apart from the first one that gets cloned. Well, the first two technically, because there's a sheep involved called Molly. And again, if you're going to do the reference, don't do it twice. It's a bit weird. But yeah, there's the first one is the engineer who gets cloned, and you kind of have a bit of turmoil with them and have to win them over. But then from that point, it will kind of hint to what you should be doing, but you can pick any order that you want to. Especially, like I know with the third one, it just gave me free range to pick who I wanted. But once they're out and about, they are that person, and you've got to figure out how you're going to get along with them, how to make them more useful. Will they kind of start to revolt against you? I know with the engineer the first time round, when you talk to them, they kind of have these little thought bubbles floating around them, green ones for good, red ones for bad, and it will tell you what they're thinking in that of, like, it could be they're uncomfortable, it could be that they're hungry, but then it will say, like, very first off with the first clone, it keeps flashing the word rebellion. So he's just expecting a hostile takeover at any point. Yeah, anxiety, anxious, and rebellion float up a lot.
Wow.
But I think this is a pretty good idea, really well executed. Like, it feels like more than the sum of its parts, just because the execution is so well done. Like, you say it's slightly Fallout-like, and it is, apart from you can actually walk around and explore your base, and even when you're moving modules around on the fly and walking between those areas, like, it does that quite snappily and really well, and that the whole base building element works really well. It's quite simple. Like, I do think it holds your hand a little bit to start with, but that's probably for the best, because I think it would be a bit daunting otherwise. And I think it does onboard you quite well and introduce you to the different mechanics and the way things work, like the exploration side, the base building side, the resource management side. And it does introduce those to you a little bit slowly, and then you've got the different alters coming out and how that's introduced. Like, as I said, more than the sum of its parts, but I think it's just such a high level of execution on the idea that it works so well that, as you say, it's like a very addictive loop. Like, it only saves when you restart a day. And at first I thought it was going to be quite restrictive. I don't really want to explore because time goes so quickly that I'm worried about, wasting time in a day. So, because if you get to a certain point at night, it takes you longer to do work, and each thing that you do, like digging up a resource or something, takes a certain length of time, and it'll actually fast forward as you're doing it, like the larger deposits, but it will take up a chunk of your day, and you need to get back to your base at night, because otherwise you get radiated like heavily at night. But also, once you get to being tired, you can still do things back at the base, but it might take you a bit longer because you're tired. And then you get to a point where you're exhausted and your vision starts going blurry, and it actually takes you even longer to do things. And the longer you go into that exhaustion period, which is generally after 11 o'clock at night, the longer you go to that exhaustion period, the later you'll wake up the next day after you go to bed, basically. But so there's that day-night cycle, but also it only saves when you finish a day. So like there's a lot of things where it leaves you going, well, this thing's just happened. That's going to be interesting, but you have to wait till tomorrow morning to find out what's going on there, kind of thing. Because
that
so
was
it kind
gonna
of
be
drags you to the next day as well.
It was going to be one of my questions because I could see how this could run the risk of becoming quite formulaic each day. Like wake up, talk to the altars, get random bits of exposition, go out and do mining stuff, go back home, spend your resources, go to bed. It could be like kind of sci-fi Groundhog Day if it wasn't careful. So how does it kind of keep it fresh then?
Intelligent game design generally, one of the things is that you can use the altars to do the stuff that you would otherwise have to do yourself. So there is a kind of like you have to make things, but you can be in the base making it and you'll have to actually go through the cycle of making stuff. But you could also leave one of your altars doing that. And different altars have different skills. Like the scientist is good at doing research, so you generally want to leave him in the lab doing research. Good at science. The technician's better at doing stuff like doing repairs in the base, so you generally want him doing that. But you could also have the technician go out and do the mining for you so that you can do more exploration, and he's just sending resources back to your base. And you have to hook up the mining outpost with pylons, so it's all connected to your base and sends it back to your base. And then the whole base,
which you can then use as a fast travel as well.
Yeah, and acts as a fast travel system as well. So, there's very well thought out game design in terms of not making you too bored with any one activity and doing stuff. And the fact that you have all these different altars comes in mean that you can automate some of those processes once it gets going as well. So
sweet.
There is always something for you to do, and there's always something interesting that's another breadcrumb that's leading you on to the next thing. And it introduces some good sci-fi mysteries. There's some anomalies that you have to battle with and stuff like that. I haven't really got into that too much yet. Difficult for me to say. But then there's as I said, little breadcrumbs of things that it goes, right, there's movies you can watch, but you have to build the right room to watch the movies in. And it gives you little clues of the stuff that you should be doing. And sometimes your altars will say, I want a conversation. I'm not sleeping very well at the moment, so can you build me a room to sleep in? Because at the moment there's only two beds in this, or only one bed in this place, and I need someone to sleep. And you're like, okay, I need to do that.
You kind of get this balance of what are you doing for the sake of progressing through? So, for instance, you have to feed them, but you feed them like a nutritious gruel that gets produced by the synthesizers. Are you, what do you need, med bays and beds and things like that? But then it's how do you keep everyone sane and happy? So then it's, okay, so instead of cooking for sustenance, it's cooking for pleasure, making pierogi. You can build the cinema, so the film room for a film night. You can have little activity rooms, playing pool and things together. It's cool. It's nice. I like
the
that
resources
balance.
Are literally everyone's happiness and sanity, basically.
Yeah.
Can you drive them all off the edge? Is what I want to know. Because Coleman, I know you love chaos. Yeah.
There is, without spoiling too much, there is a big decision that you're going to upset at least half of your altars.
Nice.
Part way through the game. But yes, it is really good. It is, again, I love supporting indie games. I love small teams. I love interesting types of games that we've not seen before. And I feel this year with this and Claire Obscura 33, we've been getting some interesting games, taking things that aren't necessarily a brand new type of game, but taking a small idea of something we've seen before and then taking it from a different perspective and polishing it in such a way. And it's a very good looking game. I wouldn't have thought this is a very small group of people until playing it a little bit. And then you notice some of the tricks they're using to get around. there is one cutscene which is used for trailers and for the intro of the game, and then the rest is kind of in-engine face-to-face conversations. Anything that kind of would be a cutscene is done through storyboards, and anyone that you're talking to that isn't Yan is kind of obscured by static, so you don't get to see a moving model of them when you're doing a video call with anyone back on Earth. But that said, gorgeous looking game.
It really does look good.
It looks way better than the small team that would be making it that you'd expect from them. Although I will say, playing it on an Xbox where it's in performance mode, if you play it on like super high settings, the C looks amazing. If you play it in performance mode, you get fuzzy C, but it's a really good looking fuzzy C, which is really funny to me.
Oddly enough, this is the first game that I've been playing on my Xbox Series S, but this is the first game that I streamed rather than downloading since I got my new internet connection, and that is impressively it's probably the right style of game for it. Like we're not needing immediate
Doesn't
responses.
need Twitch reactions.
Yeah, but it's behaved absolutely flawlessly. It's like it keeps on bugging me to download it. I'm like, why? Why should I bother? There's no need for me to do that. It's been
I might try
working really
stream
well.
this on the Steam Deck while I'm away then.
Yeah, I mean, I
can't do it on the plane.
I mean, because, and I know this was kind of covered last week, kind of the recap of kind of the Xbox announcements, but I have to say the combo of Game Pass and stuff like this, where you're right, Common, I'd love to be able to play games like this on the go. Especially if rumours of kind of the performance of whatever the Xbox handheld's going to be like are true and born out.
ROG Ally Xbox
model.
X.
Yes. It's going to be quite, it sounds, especially if Steam is also available on it, sounds quite a compelling alternative to a Steam Deck, potentially.
Yes, apparently that's one of the reasons people have been itching to get their hands on the ROG Ally X for so long, is because Steam OS is now installable on handhelds, and apparently that's going to be the system to put the Steam Deck to shame. If you're using Steam OS on it, but then you're losing the benefit of doing the standalone Game Pass, installing your content rather than streaming it. So I don't know. I wish this was better on a Steam Deck. Maybe maybe they'll perfect it down the road. It is a small team, like I said, so we'll see how it goes in the future.
But no, I'm definitely going to be checking this out.
Yeah.
Yes, as of now, PC, PlayStation 5, and of course Xbox Series X and S is $28.99 to $29.50 if you're looking to buy it, or it is available on Game Pass Ultimate right now.
I think if this appeals to you, especially the sci-fi leaning and stuff, this is almost the opposite of what we normally say, but Game Pass is a great deal still, but I think this game is worth buying for that price. You get quite a lot of game for it, and it's if they said, "Oh, we made a mistake, it's not on Game Pass anymore," tomorrow, I'd buy it basically. So, I think it's really, really good.
At this point, I recommend buying any big release game that isn't $79.99 or $69.99.
Yeah, that's fair.
Support that price tag.
Yeah, I mean, to be blunt though, there's been some absolute out of left field blinders land on Game Pass. So we've got this. We've had Claire Obscura come along as well. It's been
they've been swinging for the fences last few months. They really have.
Yeah,
just knocking it out of the park every time.
Wow.
We've got Ninja Gaiden coming up as well.
It's very true.
Good games.
So,
DLC for Indiana Jones.
Yes, that's coming up. There's all kinds of just awesome stuff. And there's the Gears of War remake that no one asked for, but you're getting anyway.
Yep.
I want it.
Rematch came out this week.
I want to play it. I want to play it on the PS5 and blow my brain.
Lovely.
What don't understand?
Okay.
Anyway. So that was the Alters. I've also been playing Cyberpunk 2077, but I'm only mentioning that because
it's on the Switch too, I'm guessing.
Platinumed it.
Platinumed. You platinumed it.
Platinumed. So once again, the only reason I would have to buy a Nintendo Switch 2 at the moment that isn't Mario Kart, I've kind of ruined that. So.
Oh. No need.
I hear there's all kinds of technical black magic, if Digital Foundry is to be believed, about how they managed to achieve Cyberpunk 2077 on the Switch. So
I'll admit, looking at some of that stuff, it looks very impressive on its own. But when you put it next to a PC or a PS5 or a Series X, it does not. You can instantly see. No.
Didn't it?
I mean, so much so. I love the look of
update patch alongside the release of the Switch version.
there was the 2.2
update.
patch, and there's if the rumors are to be believed, there could be another big update coming with some actual free content rather than bits and bobs. So we'll see if that's happening.
I need to go back and clear up all the side missions stuff because I did kind of mainline the main game and Phantom Liberty.
Yeah, I might. So even though I've platinumed it, that's the main game. I think I have like 4 trophies on Phantom Liberty, and they're all endings. So I might go back and 100% it because we've got like at least 2 years until the next game's out anyway.
Yeah.
So I got time.
Time is on your side.
Anyway, we've been playing.
There we go. So the Alters. It sounds like it's a thorough recommend from us lot.
Definitely.
So,
Yes, definitely. Yeah,
Go check it out.
It's actually brilliant. Like I think we were both a bit skeptical going in, Coleman, though, but like it exceeded my expectations by quite a large degree. I think
I was just curious. I didn't know I was going to like it so much.
it's very good.
all right, Katy Perry.
Gotcha.
Speaking of cyber things, though, I did like because people that listened to last week's show and paid attention to Coleman, he said he wasn't going to be there this week. So originally, I put off playing the Alters.
Got my dates wrong.
Well, we won't talk about that for a week. So I didn't actually start playing that. I started playing a couple of things that I hadn't got round to before, and that came out to Game Pass and PlayStation Plus, respectively. So
I have a
speaking of
question.
cyber things, yes.
I have a question. Is football still football?
Football is still football. I can't.
Excellent. EAFC 25 reviewed.
Well,
Done.
I was going to go
Next
from
game.
cyber thing to cyber thing just because that was a better link. But we can go.
I just want to point out, I
Yep.
got my dates wrong. I pointed that out on Saturday. It is now Thursday. Are you
Well,
telling me
yeah.
I didn't give you enough time to play anything?
No, that's why I did play some of the Alters last night. But when I'm out on a Tuesday
Last
and I was
night.
out Monday,
Sunday?
Sunday,
Saturday evening?
Sunday I was busy until the evening. But yeah. Anyway, but anyway, so I did play a little bit of a couple of other things that I've been meaning to play for a while. I did play Bomb Rush Cyberpunk a little bit of, and I really enjoyed that game. It is very much a bit of a poor man's Jet Set Radio, but that's no bad thing because I haven't made Jet Set Radio for quite a long time. And it's very much just that game remade by different people in a slightly different setting and with slightly different controls. But as I said, that's no bad thing. I've enjoyed the little bit of that game that I've played. I will play some more of it at some point in the next couple of weeks as well.
I bought this 2 years ago specifically to talk to on the show, and I got so bored that I just did not continue and didn't bother talking about it.
So what bored you about it, Coleman? Just out of interest.
Can't remember. It was 2 years ago, Dan. I can't remember that.
It is a bit of a slow intro, I'll say. And to be fair, I put it down and started playing the other game and then put that down and started playing the Alters as well, basically. So I can't entirely say that, as I said, it's a poor man's Jet Set Radio, but I'm not sure it's quite as good as the thing that it's aping.
Yeah.
But
and also, I bought this to play on the Steam Deck, and I have Jet Set Radio on the Steam Deck.
Right, okay. So that was
I know which one I'd rather play. Yeah.
Like, I'm glad that it exists, but at the same time, I'm glad that I didn't pay for it and that it's got it on PlayStation Plus and have been able to try it out there because that seems about right to me.
It's still on the monthly games, I believe.
Yeah. So grab it if it's of interest to you. If you're a Jet Set Radio fan, I think you'll find some stuff to like in there, but I don't think it will necessarily wow you or blow you away. The other thing I played, as Dan alluded to as well, was EA Sports FC 25. I haven't really played the FC version of this since they went away with lost the FIFA license. They didn't lose it. They didn't renew the FIFA license. And so I was interested to play it. Like,
same game every year. They didn't want to pay for it anymore.
Exactly. It's fine. Like, I think it has struggled a little bit since they lost that license in terms of it's not sold quite as well because it's not like people wouldn't necessarily know it's the same game, or it's just giving people an excuse to go, you know what, I don't need this game again anymore. and it's fine. But like, I had a perfectly good time with it. I think I need to turn the difficulty up. I did a Champions League campaign going through it, and I absolutely trounced every team I came across. The only team that scored against me in the whole competition was who was it? Oh, Celtic scored 2 goals against me. No one else scored a goal against me, and I think I was beating teams like 12 and 13-0. So I think I definitely need to turn the difficulty up a bit. But I was having fun just trouncing my way through things, getting hat tricks with people in first halves, and then subbing them off and stuff. But yeah, like I think it's weird. Like they've evolved the kind of the system over the years, and I don't think it's necessarily like a massive departure from what it was as a FIFA game, but it does feel like the ball and the player are a bit more disconnected than they used to be in good ways and bad ways, kind of thing. But yeah,
I'm going to kick it if it's connected. Be stuck.
But it always used to feel like when you were dribbling that the ball was stuck, like to being slightly in front of you and you were just knocking it ahead, and like it does feel like more like a separate object than it used to be. But yeah, but somehow it feels disconnected in a bad way as well. Like it doesn't feel like you are necessarily as connected to the player as you used to be in some ways as well. I do think that your teammates make more intelligent runs than they used to do, and that works quite well. But yeah, I haven't really properly kicked the tires on it. I've only done that one Champions League campaign from start to finish, and I haven't really played like the league modes and stuff like that. It doesn't appear to be that there's the big story mode. I think that's the one thing missing from before. The commentary's as banal and inaccurate as it has ever been, basically. But yeah, it all seems fine. Like I'm glad I didn't pay for it and waited for it on Game Pass. Like. It's going to be out of date soon. I wish they'd just do a model where you paid for it once and then you bought updates for the different teams every year.
They tried that.
Go into that for some time, but
they were trialing that with the Xbox 360 era, I believe, and their whole thing was, okay, we're going to make a base game and you're just going to buy seasons as DLC. And I think that was a plan where they went, we're going to sell you like Champions or World Cup or some kind of add-on. And they absolutely biffed it. So that did not become a model going forward.
The only thing they've done is they sell you the main game, because they used to do a separate like World Cup or Euros version of the game when it came out in those years.
Yeah, I remember.
But the only thing they've done is they sold you the base game and then they sold that as an extra add-on, and that didn't do well, so they just abandoned that. But they've just gone back to the yearly sort of platform stuff. But I do think they could have done with a bigger revolution going into the new version of the game. They've still got the Ultimate Team stuff and all that type of stuff. I haven't touched that, and I won't touch any of that. But yeah, like as I said, it's fine. I really need to probably turn the difficulty up to see how the actual game engine has evolved and responds and stuff like that. But I haven't really needed to do that many tricks and stuff. But like it works okay. I think it's fine. But I don't know. It's a difficult one to recommend for, like, if you loved it, you've already played it for the last year and you know more about it than I do. If you don't love it, there's nothing that I'm going to say that is going to make you play it, and there's nothing that the game is going to do that's going to make you play it either. So, yeah.
I think with the serialized football games, basketball, American football, even WWE, there's a model that I've wished that they would have done for a long time, because you every year it seems to get incrementally different, and then a big change happens, and it's usually like in a console leap or something like that. And I wish they would just go, okay, here's the game. Each year we update the rosters and what have you, game modes. And then every now and then, you just do it that model, and then go, now here's the big release. And then when you get a new game, then you have to be excited because there's a big change coming. And I think
much better approach. I think it would be better for them and better for their audience. But they just don't seem to do it. And even when there's like a big change for the game, it seems very incremental. It doesn't seem like there hasn't been anything revolutionary again. The problem is that they've made the engine as good as it was. There was a time that EA wasn't as good as Pro Evolution and stuff like that. EA then came back and got ahead, and they've just kind of there's not much they can do to add to the game to actually make it more appealing. And I think in losing the FIFA license, they've actually made it less appealing to a part of their audience. And as I said, it just gave a few people an excuse to drop off. But yeah.
Well, it seems to be I'm kind of like with the F1 series of games, obviously, that EA now look after. I think I'm just going to do exactly what you did with EA FC. Just going to wait for it to show up on Game Pass, because otherwise it's a big honking slab of money. And there's not really I don't feel the need to kind of be in there day one, really, because they kind of do the incremental updates over the year, and when you pick it up, it will be current as to where the season's at now. So.
Yeah, I mean, technically it's out of date as I'm playing it, basically, almost, because like there's players that have already been sold at this part of the season. But I don't care enough that I'm gonna our manager isn't on the sidelines isn't our manager anymore because he just got fired. But like it doesn't make a significant difference to me that I care enough to actually invest a full £70 in that game anymore, basically. So
yeah.
Fair thinking.
Well, if you're interested in EA Sports Football Club 25, it's on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and
on
Xbox One. Yes, I was going to say it's $59.99 on PC, $69.99 on console. It's of course available on EA Play, which means it's available on Game Pass. And Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, $33.50 to $34.99, also PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I would. That $33.50 sounds like a lot of money for Bomb Rush.
When you compare that to the value of money,
that's the console price.
The Alters is a cheaper and much better game, I'm afraid. Sorry for the devs of Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Yeah, if you're going to take anything away from this week's show, let it be known that the Alters is a good game and you should play it. Should we do the news?
Yeah.
Let's.
Cool. Speaking of excellent games that you should play, unfortunately, it won't be Marathon.
No,
because A, it's not an excellent game, and B, it's not coming out anytime soon.
Well, I mean, so
it's not a sprint.
Originally, this was going to come out in September 23rd this year, and it looked like, even though with the controversy of the copyright, well, the materials, the plagiarized materials that were appearing in the artwork, which ended up being a lot bigger than we'd initially thought going in.
Yep.
And then also the kind of lackluster alpha test that went out, the impressions of that. Even the guys that were paid to play the Marathon alpha and stream it out to all their fans, they then went off and played that other extraction shooter that we were talking about last week, Arc Raiders. So it's not a good look. So a lot of people have been saying this should be pushed back, and it looks like it has been pushed back finally. They're going to, so it's been put down as delayed indefinitely. However, they are expected to announce a new date this autumn. So I'm assuming next year sometime.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in senior Bungie management because I think Sony's going to be taking a long, hard look
I
at
do.
what you're
Think of all the cars I could drive around in.
This is very, very, very true.
You don't even have to make a
look at.
game anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I suspect that Marathon is not going to have like the kind of long tail that things like Destiny have had. I think it's really.
I'm not sure it's going to have a short tail, Dan.
Or Shark Tail.
I do wonder if Bungie's days as kind of independent's not the right word because obviously they're not an independent studio anymore, but I don't think they're going to be given the creative license they once put it that way.
I wonder if we'll see Marathon in this form at all, whether it will look very different and play very different.
I think it's going to have to look very different.
See it again, basically. I think there's a good
Don't worry,
chance
guys.
of that now.
We've still got Destiny Mobile coming, so
good.
that'll be
worryingly. That looks like the best Bungie IP game for.
You only say that because it involves the tower, and you're feeling nostalgic for Destiny 1.
I still actually need to get a bloody move on and play some Destiny before the next expansion because I'm a season and a half behind.
Just leave it behind. Play better games. Support better studios.
Play the old.
Sorry, buddy. Hey,
Yeah.
I loved my time with Destiny. I love my time with Destiny 2. I just think it's time to support better studios with better management. That's all. But in a statement, Bungie have pledged to enhance the visual fidelity, expand the story elements, and introduce more engaging social features, including proximity chat, which I've been following a few people on their trips to Bungie to test out Marathon and talk to developers, and every single one of them said, this game would be better with proximity chat. You should add proximity chat. And each time they have said no. Now they're doing it. So I think it's sort of, okay, cards out on the table. No one likes our game. Everyone's annoyed with us.
Time to
we should
reinvent
probably
it.
listen to the fans now.
I wonder if the ultimate flex is going to be it's no longer an extraction shooter when it comes out.
It's Destiny 3.
Yeah,
but
could
it
be.
has a cool new art style that we definitely didn't steal off anyone.
So what else has been in the news, Coleman?
Oh, mate, we say farewell this week to one Robin Dark One Scott, who you may not know. He's been the face behind Nexus Mods, which you probably do know about. He's been running Nexus Mods for like nearly 10 years, I think, at this point. And
It's longer than that. I think it's nearer 20, I think.
oh, criminy! So okay,
It's
yes,
like
2 decades.
25 years, I think.
Bloody hell!
There's 24
but
years in the link, but yep.
So he said he started out in his bedroom making Morrowind mods. That transformed into the site Nexus Mods, and it's boasting over 63 million users, billions of downloads, and now he's passed the leadership on to longtime community members Victor and Marines, which I'm not going to say their usernames because they look silly to me. If I say I'm gonna butcher them.
Foladino and
There you go.
Rapsack.
They rap sack.
A whole
Word.
rat.
Have I told you that I'm
but-
down with the kids?
You are very much. How are you
Word,
doing, fellow
mofos.
kids? Yes, but Robin Scott, he said that the reason for stepping down is mental health mainly. He's been just exhausting himself running Nexus Mods, and now he can finally rest and relax.
I have a
Good
question.
for him.
Yes, Tim.
You said we all heard about this. What's a Nexus mod?
Oh,
Jesus.
Tim. Oh, you delicate
Tim.
little
Oh,
snowflake.
Timothy.
Oh, you
Basically,
special
it's,
Some of your
sunflower.
PC
It's been-
master race nonsense that I know
it's
nothing
been
about.
a corner. One of the big draws of PC gaming for many is the ability to kind of mod your game. So change gameplay mechanics.
Mostly
or put,
breast sizes.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of jiggly boob physics, but there's also like Thomas the Tank Engine being grafted into Elden Ring, that kind of
Right,
stuff.
good.
Where I mean, some of them are silly mods, some of them are quite in-depth, serious mods, like completely redoing the graphics engine on. I think in Skyrim there's a complete redo of that, so it's pretty incredible the stuff that people do. And Nexus Mods is a way to kind of help organise what would either be a completely chaotic cavalcade of tweaks to your PC games. So I think it's been
just
a real labour of
Is
love.
it kind
for
of
them,
a list of links then, or is it like particularly like they actually create the mods? Or
No.
well,
It's like a housing. It's a
Yeah.
database where people upload their mods to, and then you can download
Yeah.
them from. And because you're using this, then it's categorized and sorted through, and everything is checked through, and you're not getting some weird
dodgy stuff on
malware.
you.
Yeah. But the other reason this became such a big thing this week is because last week they opened up mod support for Stellar Blade, which led to one of my favorite headlines, which I think it was PC Gamer, I can't remember. But it was along the lines of Stellar Blade now has mod support, and gamers prove they will never be allowed into the kingdom of heaven. And I looked through some mods on Nexus Mods, and may I tell you my favorite mod for Stellar Blade?
is it the naked mod, Coleman?
And I don't want to know the history behind this. All I know is there is a mod to replace hands with feet and feet with hands.
I love it. Loving your work, random internet stranger.
From a Q Tarantino, whoever that is. Nexus Mods. And this one also a carryover from last week. So you might have heard we haven't covered this because I just refuse to talk about Randy Pitchford whenever I can help it.
You just mentioned him.
Yeah, I know. We
Didn't
kind of
have
have to
to.
talk about it. This has been ongoing in the background. Borderlands 4 is almost out. Almost out. It's coming out the 12th of September, so not far now. But one of the big things is someone kind of obnoxiously went on X or one of those platforms and said to Randy Pitchford, the last time they were showing off Borderlands 4, and said, please don't let it be a $79.99 game.
Good news.
That
isn't. It's
that was the thing going around.
$799.
No, he didn't confirm or deny the price. He said if you're a fan of the game, you will buy it, and then went through some story of working minimum wage in an ice cream parlor to buy a $70 game
They
when he
should
was
just
a child.
take keyboards away from Randy, really.
Yeah.
From most just
Take a lot of
people
things
that
away
have
from him,
more
but-
money than sense and run companies, like you're not down with the common man. You should not be talking to them because you're only going to
haven't
biff
been
it.
doing themselves any favors in the last few weeks. CEOs of gaming companies. So.
Yeah. So
Mind's
it all
eye
went
and
quiet,
stuff,
and I think at some point they said it wasn't going to be $79.99. And good news, everyone, it's $69.99. So
Bargain.
it's still it's the high end of the RRP currently, outside of the realm of Nintendo, but that still translates to $69.99 in the UK. So basically, still $79.99.
I can't say
Yeah, I
I
know.
have any interest in buying this. Like, I'll reserve judgment until reviews are out and stuff like that. If it's absolutely amazing and like, everyone ends up playing it and we can all play it online, maybe I stretch to it, but I just can't see it at the moment.
It's some
I'm just-
Borderlands ask Borderlands, basically.
Yeah, I struggle with Borderlands. Although I do like a lot of the improvements they're doing here. It's the idea of, like, all the weapons are modular now, so when you're picking up loot, you might not specifically like the gun that you've picked up, but you might like the ammo chamber or something like that
Yeah.
that you can switch out onto a new gun. I like that idea. I also like now when you're playing co-op online, you're not beholden to all playing on the same level of difficulty. If you've got someone who kind of struggles, they can lower their difficulty compared to everyone else. You can play on amateur mode, beginner mode, whatever we're calling it, and also the
Nice.
return of 2-player co-op. So
Yeah.
all modes, all things I applaud within this game. However, I don't know what it is about Borderlands. I just struggle to stick with it. For the first-person shooters, I don't know
I
why.
don't think I've ever finished any of the games. I've started them a lot.
No.
Like particularly
Well,
Borderlands 2.
I've beat both Tales of the Borderlands games, but those are not the same game.
Yeah, they're not
Yeah.
real, not classic Borderlands. Well, I mean, again, I think it's
Didn't
one of
even
those
finish the
things that I'll
film.
probably pick it up in the fullness of time, but I don't think I'll be dropping big dosh money on it anytime soon.
no.
To be fair. Well, unless I'm much mistaken, Common, that's it for the news. That is
That's
it.
it for the
No more
news.
news
Oh
ever.
my good
well, at least not
Lord.
this week.
Yeah,
I mean,
It's
there
a
was
good
also a
time.
Nintendo Direct this week for what's
It
his
was
name?
Donkey Kong.
Donkey
Yep,
Kong.
yeah.
It looks great. I
bananas.
don't do a
Bananas.
direct for one game. I do it for the announcements.
Yeah,
Yes.
they
So
look fine.
we're
but
gonna wrap this.
None of us are
sucker up,
picking up a
basically.
Switch 2, so we don't really care. No, I think that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
I'll pick
That
one up
is-
when down the road. I'm not looking to get one right now. That's
Yeah.
all it is.
Fair.
I'm definitely not paying scalpers.
So that's been another show. And before we trundle off, there's a couple of bits of housekeeping we, of course, have to do first, of which is you need to go and buy my face. tpublic.com/store/BRB. Things with my face on it. Go buy them. And stuff. Yeah, things. Go get them. tpublic.com/store/BRB.
One more time.
tpublic.com/stores/BRB.
Louder.
tpublic.com.
Deeper.
Say louder, not deeper.
Yeah.
Well, now you'll get grumpy with me if I top my mic out.
Now do it while biting your finger.
tpublic.com/stores/BRB. Yes. So there we go. tpublic.com/stores/BRB. Tim, is Tuesday a Tuesday this week? If so, why?
Tuesday.
And if not, why not?
Is indeed a Tuesday, Mr. Dan. And each and every Tuesday, we do an event
It's Dr. Dan.
called Tabletop Tuesday.
Dr. Dan action.
Dr. Dan.
Mm-hmm.
We do an event called Tabletop Tuesday
some
at
speck
the
on his name.
Loading Bar in Stoke Newington. Each and every Tuesday, we have a different feature game. And if you play that feature game that evening, you have a chance of winning a copy of the game at the end of the night. This week's feature game is a real doozy. It is one of the Horrified series of games. This is the World of Monsters version of that. You are battling various different monsters, and there's different ways to battle them depending on the monster you're battling. You can solve the puzzle of the Sphinx. You can try and track down the reclusive Yeti, or you can battle Cthulhu in various different things. And this is one of the first multi-phase battles they've got where it takes place in different realms and stuff as well. But yeah, Horrified is a really good, fun cooperative game where you are generally battling monsters together,
I like it.
Cooperatively, teaming up and taking down some monsters. And yeah, really fun game generally. Like I really enjoyed the different versions of this that I've played. I haven't played this version, but it does look fun and is adding a few mechanics. Each monster in the game always works a little bit differently as well. So yeah, it's generally a fun game. Should be a good one. It's a nice big prize to come along and win. If you come along and join us at Tabletop Tuesday at the Loading Bar in Stoke Newington, you could win a copy just by playing it. If you want more details, you can check the right-hand side of BigRedBarrel.com. There is a Tabletop Tuesday thing you can click on there for more information, or join the over 2,200 plus people in our meetup group. Search for Tabletop Tuesday on meetup.com. Also, I'll just note, on meetup.com, we are one of the highest rated groups on there. We've got 275 reviews. We are a 4.9 out of 5. And that makes us one of not only the best board game groups, but the best meetup groups in general. So, yeah, thank you very much for everyone that's taken the time to review us on there, and come join us this Tuesday.
And remember, as always, if you tickle Tim under the chin and gaze into his eyes, he will buy you a drink.
No.
He will buy you a drink if you tickle him and look and gaze longingly into his eyes.
He'll invite you to the Tim Hibbs Alters kissing party.
Yes. Oh, stout yeoman of the board games.
Just make sure you bring a mouldy Tottenham t-shirt so you fit in.
No. I'll also note, because we won't get much time afterwards because we're having next week off as well, that Sunday, the 6th of July, we are doing the pre-release for the next set of Star Wars Unlimited, The Legends of the Force. There's only 16 places up for grabs in that, so that will probably fill up fairly soon. I think half of them are already gone. So if anyone's interested in joining for that, let me know, and I can book you a place for that as well.
Remember.
And on the 7th, I'll be doing my Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy tournament over at Flibbity Dib 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 Dib.
They had loads of
I
people
will be
come
hosting
down to
a game of Extreme Tiddlywinks at Welling Garden City Cribbage Club.
Always tiddlywinks for you.
Always
love that game.
Classic. Yeah, don't knock the classics.
Mate, meet me by the bridge. We're playing poo sticks. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, if you've liked the show, you got weird taste, but more power to you. Did you know if you go to BigRedBarrel.com, that is the website that hosts this here show. That's where we live. BigRedBarrel.com.
That's where.
BigRedBarrel.com. This podcast, other podcast things, stuff, go to BigRedBarrel.com, if you please. Thank you very much. Also, we've got our links to our social medias there. You can find us on all the things you might be expecting to find us on, including Discord. Go to Discord, chat to us, say things. Tim, you were asking about a game last week, which we got a very in-depth answer to. You should probably go to Discord and read that,
okay.
Tim. I bet you haven't yet.
Been there this week? No. I'll go have a look.
I believe the game Rimworld. That's what you asked about. Dragon Master Kale gave a very in-depth response for you, sir.
Ooh, I'll go check that.
And you ignored him.
I
ignored him.
You, Tim.
And playing
Too busy not playing at the altars. Pretending.
So you can either click the link in the show notes to trundle on over to Discord, or try and decode the following: discord.com/invite/muntuhafwa.
Thought just before you said Discord the last time it sounded like you said Pisscord, but I'm guessing you didn't, because
I didn't
react. But it sounded
Discord.com/invite/muntuhafwa. Good. Sorry for that one, mother flippers.
I think that is about it. So we're not here next week because Coleman's on holiday.
I'm going to Turkey.
He's slapping Factor 50 on his big baldy head, and he's going to be lying on a beach.
Nah, Factor 30, buddy.
Cooking
I live dangerously
in Turkey rather than cooking a turkey.
I'm going to be basting myself like a turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's actually going to be in a turkey, is what happens. That's holiday for Coleman.
Like that one episode of Friends.
No,
His
not like
head in a
that.
turkey.
Yep. But we will be back the week after that, doubtless with some things to talk about. So thank you, as Coleman said, for joining us. Hope you have a splendid week next week, as indeed Coleman is going to have a very well-deserved holiday. But we'll be back after that, so we'll speak to you all then. So all that's left to do is remind you that I have been Dan.
I might have been Tim.
I've been at Tim's Alter's kissing party.
Ooh.
So until next time, dear listeners, toodle bye.
It's Tim, but he's got a porn stash, but he's an engineer. Crazy.
Boring.
Water savings.
My eyes, the goggles do nothing.
Dan! 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 Dan!
Dum 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 dum.
Thanks, Chewie.
Worst episode ever.
Thanks, one and all.
Speaking of the worst things ever, I've seen numerous things this week that have called Mind's Eye the worst game they've ever played, basically.
Yes. I wish you said it on the show. In defense of Mind's Eye, and you'll never hear me say that again.
Surely not.
You know that screenshot that keeps going around? It gets used on every single article to go, hey, did you know Mind's Eye is horribly broken and you shouldn't buy it? And it's like this guy's face all melting.
Okay.
Did you know that is three frames of a cutscene?
No.
Like when you're watching the cutscene, it goes, and you go, what was that? They've paused it and gone, look how horrible this game is broke. As I wouldn't have noticed if you didn't fucking tell
To
me.
be fair, the one that I saw was someone's head like sticking through a wheel in a car when they're
Yeah, I've seen some stuff. Like if you run over an NPC, they basically turn into spaghetti. But it was that one bit. I was like, that seems a bit out to use that as your thing. It's just because it's so widely shared on social media that they've gone, yeah, this is the big problem with the game. But there are many problems with the game.
Problems are legion.
One of them's the CEO.
Yes.
Wow.
You
Not
could
lying.
turn Discord into Pisscord with Nexus mods. I don't believe you.
Try it. Right.
Next time you log
Feet.
into Discord.
Feet into hands, hands into feet.
Discord into Pisscord. Will the fun never end?
Scratch my nose. Ooh.
Smells like
Sweaty.
piss.
Guys, it's been an
Yes.
honour podcasting with you. We're definitely coming back in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you know what's happening in 2 weeks?
We're going to play
All back from
Firebreak
holiday.
co-op.
Death
online.
Stranding 2, baby.
Oh.
On the beach. I extended
look
my
forward-
holiday especially for it.
I'm looking forward to the very strange.
Are you going to play
reviews
on
of
the
that
beach?
game.
Going to play on the beach.
No, unfortunately, my copy arrives while I'm in another country. So I went, okay, I'll extend my holiday by a couple of days, and then I can actually play it before the next show. So plus, HR's going to get on at me if I don't start taking holidays. So
All right.
you're burnt out.
Yes, stop giving me too much work then.
Exactly. Well, HR don't give me the work. It's the powers that be in the petrol station that I definitely
Yes.
work in.
Goddamn.
Guess
petrol
what?
Station.
We should get out
Bye,
of here.
everyone.
Wait, do you want to hear a latex rip?
Yep.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like Terra Masalata in latex.
Yeah. Oh,
Salata.
no.
Bye, internet.